thinking about what you need to start your vegetable garden in 2025. Well, in this video today, I'm going to share with you the fundamental things you need to know for you to start your vegetable garden this year. Well, I would like to say that there's no perfect business plan for any vegetable garden. The reason is that perfection comes along the way. The more you try, the more you make better plans, because plans can change specific to someone. We have different problems we face while we do agriculture. We have different things that we encounter while we do agriculture. You realize things when you start to work out the process, that the things that you needed that you didn't know that you need. So when you come into the process and try out your first phase, you know that I'll need this thing the next time. So the perfect plan to the business is specific to you, because yeah, we all need to start. The greatest thing that you need to do for yourself is to start and try out. The more you try out, the more you make your stuff perfect. The more you continue to perfect your craft, the more you continue to perfect how you grow your crops. So there's no perfect business plan. So as you start, know that the things that I'm going to share in this video are just fundamentals to give you a start. But the more you continue to try out, the more you continue to go and dig deep into this thing, the more you realize there are things that you needed, there are things that you don't need. That if you're doing a plan for the next planting, there are things that you have to eliminate, there are things you have to leave, there are things you have to adapt to. So the fundamental things are 6 that you need to consider before you actually start your vegetable garden in 2025. Fundamental number 1, as you do your business plan, this is what you need to also put into consideration. You need to know the climate factors. By climate factors, I mean you need to know the hottest and coldest months of the year or of your planting seasons. This will help you plan ahead. It will help you plan which crops to grow, because there are crops that are suitable for uh, a specific condition of weather, unlike other crops. So it helps you to know which crops to plant in which months, which crops will survive, which varieties are resistant, which varieties will survive this period. Then the other thing, it helps you to plan the irrigation system to use. Uh, so if either you have something in place, if you do not have any irrigation system in place, you'll able to know when to plant depending on the seasons. Just like here in Uganda, we have 2 different rainy seasons. So you plan your planting schedule according to the different rainy seasons that are there, so that you don't plant late or plant early, because that affects your crops. Also helps you to know which seasons uh, different diseases are prevalent. When you know that it's rainy seasons, you know that fungi are so prevalent. When you know it's hot seasons, you will know that there are very many pests that will be very prevalent. So rather to do a control measure, to help you do preventive measures earlier, uh, so that your crops are not affected, because these crops, these pests, some of them, more than causing damage to the crops, they also carry, some pests carry disease causing agents. So it's important that you understand this fundamental point of climate. Point to number 2, you need to know the soil conditions. Uh, this will help you plan again which crop you need to grow, because specific types of soils prefer specific types of crops, or what amendments, what solutions will you have to do to improve on the quality of your soil in case it lacks specific amounts of soil nutrients, and how much organic matter you need to put in the soil, uh, so that you are more deliberate about your cropping season. I know many people do not usually do soil testing. Many people just go ahead to plant. But if you're planning to go commercial with your crops, you'll need to do soil testing because it will save you a lot. You'll know you'll carry out a deliberate action rather than planting crops and then you have yields that are not optimal. Because at this we are looking at a way of optimizing uh, our soils. We are looking at a way of getting the best out of, because you can underutilize the resources that you have because you don't know what you have. So when you know the soil condition, you know what to put in the soil, you know how to improve your soil deliberately, so that you optimize your soil, so that the crops that you're going to grow are able to, to use whatever thing they find in the soil at a very optimal level, at the highest level possible. So you also need to, it helps you to know the crop that you're going to grow, like I said. So, but you don't have to worry about this. I can help you work on this. I help people do soil sampling and soil testing. You can always reach out to me. Get my details in my description above. You'll find my contact details there. We can work this together. So you need to know the condition of your soil. Factor to consider is topography. You need to know the nature of your land. Is it a steep slope? Is it a gentle slope? Uh, is it a valley? So most times we encourage people to go for gentle slopes because now there are little costs in managing that kind of land. To make sure you are able to grow your crops very well. A gentle slope usually very cool to go with. But someone will come up and say, I have my steep land, or I have a valley land. How can I work this out to be able to grow the kind of crop that I want to grow? Of course, there are measures now you'll have to look at for you to be able to manage, to be able to grow crops on the steep slope, and to control factors of soil erosion, because those will affect the fertility of your soil. And once the fertility of your soil is affected, of course you don't expect good yields. So there are measures that you'll have to take into place to reduce soil erosion on a steep slope. Then you're also dealing with a valley. Now you're going to be dealing with flooding. There are also measures that you will need to work out so that you reduce the effect of flooding in case you want to use your 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 valley land to be able to grow the vegetables that you want to grow. So you also need to put that factor into consideration as you do your business plan, uh, because it really affects the growth of your crops and obtaining optimal yields. So the other factor is the economic factor, the economic sense. The economic factors that we look at now, the inputs. You have all the inputs that you need for your farm. Can you access fertilizers? Can you access pesticides? Can you access the different things that you need to use on your farm, the implements, easily, because it costs a lot when also the things that you need to do to use on your farm are not near. At times you need, the diseases just come out and you need to access these things very fast. So you need to consider that as also you're doing your business plan for your vegetable garden. Are these inputs accessible? Then the other thing is the finances. Do you have enough finances to sustain you throughout the entire period? How do you use your finances to fit the budget, to fit the amount of crops that you can grow for a specific season? So, because I believe you don't have to start with great amounts of money. You can start with the amount of money that you have as you continue to scale up. Mainly what we want to master as we start, as beginners, we want to master how to grow the crop, how to grow a good quality crop, what it needs to grow a good quality crop. So that is what we're looking at for starters. So how much finances do you have? Can you divide your finances to be able to help you to finance the whole process of production? Yes, because that is also very, very important. Most of the times we forget that fact, and we want to go big, but then our finances are not able to sustain us. So you grow a very big plantation, then you are you get a disease infestation, then the miscellaneous money is not enough to finance the counteraction of the pests and diseases that come through uh, unprepared for. So you need to consider the finances as well. The other thing about economics, you need to consider your market. Is before you plant, you need to also plan for the market. Is the market available? What are the prices there? Uh, can I project if I am going to sell? How much will I be able to get? You need to also think about that. You need to check out the prevailing prices. You need to go in the thing when you know that if I plant this, I expect this. Of course, prices can fluctuate for agricultural produce, but then you need to have at least a foundational plan so that you don't regret well after you go into the thing. So you need like to project. You need to put your mind steadied up for this process. So that is the financial factor. So the other factor is we need to put in the biological factors. That's just simple. You need to know the history of the plant, the place where you're going to grow your crops. What have people been growing there? Is it a virgin land? Virgin land, I mean that no one has been growing anything there. Maybe there's been a thicket, a bush. So you need like you've just cleared and you just the first person to grow crops there. Or so if this is very important because the history of the land is very important because you need to know what kind of crops you've grown there. Were they surviving the diseases that affected them? Because some diseases can stay for long in the soil for quite a long time. So when you start to grow, your crops can be easily affected by by the by the diseases that have been prevalent in the soil. So you need to consider the biological factors. So also see around. The other thing you should do is to see around your neighbors, what your neighbors are actually growing. Is it thriving? What's the best crop that people are growing there? So that you're not starting something very new on a virgin land. Uh, so you need to be able to understand what your neighbors are also growing, so that you are planned well. You are planned well. You need to know that what is good for this soil, what people are growing around. Is it favorable for this soil? Okay. So the other last thing that I would tell you to consider is knowledge. Know Knowledge is very, very fundamental. Know how a crop is grown. Know what diseases affect the crop. Know what management practices are needed of the crop. Know how much fertilizer is needed for a specific crop. Know how it is grown. Know how it is managed. Know how it is harvested. So you need to know all those things. And the beauty about those things, they are prevalent all over the internet. You need and different people are giving guides of how they do their thing. But you don't have to niche with this. You don't have to suffer with this. I am also still here. I can help you grow together with you in 2025. We can do this thing together. Because that's one thing I realized when I was starting out. Starting on your own can cost you very, very, very much. You need to have someone who has gone through the thing to give you a stability in your growth of crops. Uh, they're not the standard, but they just help you to catch up and master very fast because we don't want to delay mastering growing it. You can master how fast you master it is also very important because the faster you master it with someone, the less costs you can be able to input in. Yes, so you can start with me in 2025. Hit me up. My details are in the description above. Let's do this thing together. Have a nice day.